A very warm welcome in the class of graph theory. Today's topic are containing tree, binary tree, spanning tree, minimal spanning tree. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JS College of Engineering. So, what are the prerequisites of this class? What is connected graph? Already we have discussed it in the previous classes. Connected graph is a graph where you can go from one vertex to another vertex. That means there is a connectivity and it is true for each and every pair you have selected from the vertex set. So if you look at this graph and if you want to go from this vertex to this vertex, you can go. There is no direct edge, but you can come along this and then you can go along this, or you can go along this, then you can go along this, or you can come along this. But at least one path must be there, and we are seeing that it is possible and it is true for every pair of vertices. Now we are thinking about circuit. So if we start from here, if we go along this, then we can come along this and we can come along this one in this direction. Look at this, we are getting this one and this is our circuit. Now what is spanning graph? Spanning graph means a graph which can span the given mother graph. So in the next part we are getting this concept of weight. It is already very much clear to you all that when we are signifying the edges in some different significance, then this is actually termed in the graph theoretic notification as weight. Now what is this? This is a tree and it is something similar to our today's discussion, that is tree. So please follow the structure of this tree. If we want to draw it by the help of graph theoretic concepts, and can I draw it like this? It is something from where you can make it from this point, then it is growing, there are branches, after that there will be some leaves and something like that, and you can think about that there is a main stem what is actually connected in the earth. And from the computer science background, and also not only from the computer science background, we all have this particular thing in our screen, and you are getting this one by writing this command in the command prompt, and you are getting something like this. If you just want to compare this concept, that it is coming, then it is having a branch, then it is having some branches, then it is having some sub branch, and so on and so on. So this concept is very much important for our learning. Next. So we are coming in the formal definition of this tree, but before that, what is forest? Again, it is very much related to our general concept. A forest is a graph that contains no cycles, and a connected forest is a tree. So if you get something where there are some graphs but there are no cycles in that graphs, then you can treat this one as a forest. But what we are saying, that a connected forest, now if I have a connectivity like this and if then it is connected like this, now this whole thing is a tree. Sometimes in some textbook you can just read it by in reverse direction. In that case the definition of tree is given in this form, that yes, it is true that trees and forests are simple graphs, but we are actually thinking about that tree is a connected graph without cycles. So if you think about tree like this, and tree is a connected graph without cycles, then also this is another way of approaching the definition of tree. So look at this. You can think about this whole thing as a forest, where this is a tree, where this is a tree, this is another tree, and this is also so. And this is also very common thing for you. This is peduncle of grapes, and it is also a very similar structure of the tree what actually we are learning now. This is started, then this is having some branches, and then this is having some sub branches, and there are some grapes when actually the grapes are there. But when these grapes are removed, you are getting this structure. This is also very much real life example of our tree. Now a connected graph without any circuit is called a tree, what already I have discussed to you. That is another approach of defining tree. Now we are taking that previous tree in our structure, and we are now going little bit deep in our discussion. So this is a statement: if the graph G has n vertices and m edges, then the following statements are equivalent. That means all the statements are of same meaning. G is a tree, and there is exactly one path between any two vertices in G, and G has no loops. These two statements are same. So let us check. So this is our tree. It is having one path between any two vertices in G, and G has no loops. There are no loops. And if I select this vertex and this vertex, I can go in this direction, then in this, then in this. Very good. So there is one path, but they are claiming there is exactly one path. So can I come from this vertex to this vertex by other path? It is not possible. And this is true for any selected pairs, and you will see that there are paths, but the number of the path is exactly one. Now let us come to the next point. G is connected and m is equal to n minus 1. M is equal to n minus 1 means the number of edges in this graph is n minus 1. So first check: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 vertices. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have 7 edges. So the statement is true for this tree, but it is not never giving this indication that this statement will be true for every cases until and unless we are proving it. And this proof requires mathematical induction. Now G is circuitless, and if we add any new edge to G, then we will get one and only one circuit. There is no circuit. Now suppose you are trying to join two edges which is not in there. If you join this, then this will create a circuit. Or rather, suppose you are trying to join these, then you are getting another circuit over here. So now the next concept is, if G is a forest with n vertices and k components, then G has n minus k edges. So if you think about another forest, then you will verify this property. Then eccentricity of a vertex, let V be a vertex of a graph G. The eccentricity of V, which is denoted as EV, is the distance from V to the vertex farthest from V in G. So if you take this one, this is having distance 1, this is having distance 1, this is having distance 1, this is 1, 2. Now this one is 1, 2, 3, or this one is 1, 2, 3. So eccentricity will be depending on this particular calculation. Next one is center of graph, which is depending on eccentricity concept. The vertex with least eccentricity in a graph G is called the center of G. So if you think about this one is having 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you are having this one, then 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2. In all the cases, it is having 2. So this vertex is having eccentricity 2, which is least. Because if you think about this one, this is 1, 2, 3. If you think about this one, this is 1 2, this is what this one, then it is 1 2, it is 1 2 3 4, so it is having eccentricity 4. So this is the concept of center of a graph. The next one is binary tree. It is a very special tree in the concept of tree in graph theory. A tree in which there is exactly one vertex of degree 2. It is having exactly one vertex of degree 2, and the remaining are of 1 or 3, not more than this. So you have 3 degree vertices or 1 degree vertices. Let us try to draw it first. Is it a binary tree? No, because there is no vertex of degree 2. Is it a binary tree? Yes, there is a vertex of degree 2, and this is a vertex of degree 1, and this is 1. Is it a binary tree? There is a vertex of degree 2, there is a vertex of degree 2, but exactly one vertex of degree 2. It is not a binary tree. But is it a binary tree? It is 2, it is 3, it is 1, it is 1. So it is also satisfying this condition. So this is a binary tree. So you can construct, or rather you can check whether a given tree is a binary tree or not. So our basic idea or the example what we have taken, look at this. This is having 2, then this is 1 2 3, this is 1, this is 1, then this is 1 1 1 2 3 4, and this is 1. So is it going to be a binary tree? The answer is no. Then root of a binary tree. Root of a binary tree means this vertex which you have degree 2 only, and this is a single vertex in that particular tree which is having degree 2. It is the root of that binary tree. Now internal vertex means those who are not pendant vertex in a tree are called internal vertex. Now there are some statements in the terms of properties. It is very important. Now every pair of vertices in a tree is connected by one and only one path. Every pair of vertices in a tree. So if we have a tree, if we take this one and this one and only one path means this, then this, then this and this. Now how we can prove this? So if we just want to prove it by method of contradiction, we are assuming that no, there is not one path, there is more than one path. So if this is one path, there must be another path by which we will connect it, and if it is possible for us to identify to connect it by another path, these two paths together will create a circuit, but this violates the definition of tree. So it will only having one path for every pair of vertices in a tree. Next, if there is only one and only one path between every pair of vertices in a graph G, then G is tree. That is nothing but a vice versa statement of this one, which is also true. So if there is only one path, then it is a tree, because if you have only one path, that means there is no circuit as well as it is a connected graph. So it will be a tree. Next one is any tree with two or more vertices contains at least two pendant edges. It is very much obvious, because if you take a tree with two or more vertices, we have taken already a tree with two vertices, both of them are pendant. Now look at this, is a tree, this is 2, but there are two pendants. Actually it will create one path where intermediate vertices will be having degree 2 or more than that, but when you are coming from this one and this one, then this one is having degree 1 and this one is also having degree 1, so they are pendant vertices. Now the number of vertices in a binary tree is always odd. The number of pendant vertices in a binary tree is n plus 1 by 2 when n is the number of vertices in the tree, and we are going to discuss the another properties also. But the first one, the number of vertices in a binary tree is always odd. So the number of vertices in a binary tree, suppose I am taking one binary tree with n number of vertices. Okay. So there are three types of vertices: degree 1, degree 2, degree 3. How many vertices? Only one. So it is one odd degree vertex. This is also odd degree vertices. So how many odd degree vertices are there? N minus 1. Now we know that in a graph, in a simple graph, as it is a tree is also something like that. So n minus 1 is the total number of vertices, total number of odd degree vertices in a binary tree, and we know that the number of odd degree vertices in a graph is even. The number of odd degree vertices in a graph is even. So n minus 1 must be even. So this n minus 1 is an even number. So if n minus 1 is an even number, it implies n is an odd number. So the number of vertices in a binary tree which was assumed as n becomes odd. Next, the number of pendant vertices in a binary tree is n plus 1 by 2. It is a simple calculation. Suppose you have taken the number of pendant vertices is x. Number of vertices having degree 2 is 1. Total number of vertices is n. So how many vertices are having degree 3? N minus x minus 1. So the total degree of this binary tree is x into 2 plus, sorry, x into 1 plus 1 into 2 plus n minus x minus 1 into 3. So what you are getting, it is x plus 2 plus 3n minus 3x minus 3. So after simplifying, what you are getting, 3n minus 2x minus 1. So you are getting 3n minus 2x minus 1, and we know that in a tree with n number of vertices, n minus 1 number of edges are there, and also we know that every edge is going to contribute 2 because the total degree of a graph is 2 into number of edges. So this is going to be 3n minus 2x minus 1 is equal to 2 into n minus 1, which gives, after simplification, x is equal to n plus 1 by 2, which proves the statement that the number of pendant vertices in a binary tree is n plus 1 by 2. Then the next one, the number of internal vertices in a binary tree is 1 less than the number of pendant vertices, because it is very much obvious that if you are having pendant vertices in the context of, if you just take this one, suppose if we are taking this one as the binary tree, so the number of pendant vertices here, it is 3, and how many internal vertices you are getting? 2. So it is 3 minus 1, which is 2. Oh, I have taken one picture for you, but I have used this particular area for the discussion. So let us take the eraser and please erase this one, otherwise this thing what I want to make it clear to you will not be clear. Give me some more minutes. No, I am trying to, well, while I am just going to remove this for your purpose of this discussion, let me introduce that what actually we are going to show you. We are going to take the number of vertices in increasing order, that is n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to this, and we are going to show you what actually is going on in the part of tree representation. So it is done, I think. Now if we take this one, n equal to 1, that means the number of vertices is 1, so we are getting this. But when n equal to 2, we are getting this tree. Importantly, n equal to 3, we are getting this one, and this is also unique representation. But when n equal to 4 is coming, look at this. There is one representation, there is another representation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the representation is different. How we can understand? Because this is a vertex with degree 3, but there is no vertex with degree 3. Similarly, for n equal to 5, there is one representation, there is another representation, there is another representation. So in this way, when the number of vertices is actually increasing, we are going to get various representation of the trees. Okay. Now, what is spanning tree? Spanning tree is nothing but which can span the graph. So the most important information what is required is that the number of vertices has to be same. A tree T is called a spanning tree of a connected graph G if T is a subgraph of G and T contains all the vertices. All the vertices if not are present, then it will never be a spanning tree because it will not be able to span the graph. So if this graph is given, now look at this. This is a tree and this can span this graph just by joining these three edges. This is another spanning tree of this graph because if we join this one and this one, it will create. So what is required? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices are there. In spanning tree, 5 vertices has to be there. If there are 5 vertices and if we want to make a tree, then obviously there will be 4 edges. So look at this here 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 edges are there. It has to be tree and then it will be a spanning tree. Then spanning tree is the largest tree among the all trees in G because it can span and you can't get higher tree than this one because the number of vertices is the same as G. Now each component of a disconnected graph will have a spanning tree and spanning forest then it is generated because every component of a disconnected graph it is a connected one and this connected one has a spanning tree. Those spanning trees together with creates a spanning forest. Now there are 2 or 3 more terms what we are going to discuss. First one is branch of a tree. An edge of a tree is called branch of a tree. This is very basic thing. Now chord of a tree, let T be a tree contained in a graph G. An edge of G that is not in T is called chord of T in G. Then if you take this one as T, then this one are chords because they are not the part of T. And then chord tree, this is important, the complement of a spanning tree T is in a connected graph G is called chord tree. That means if you are taking the tree from a connected graph, then you can create the complement of that graph. That complement of that tree is called chord tree. Now finally a graph is connected if and only if it has a spanning tree. It is obvious because if it is not having a spanning tree, that means it is not going to be a connected one because the number of vertices will not be same. Now some very basic applications. There is a minimum connector problem that let us suppose that we wish to build a railway network connecting n given cities so that a passenger can travel from any city to any other. If for economic reasons the total amount of track must be minimum, then the graph formed by taking the n cities as vertices and the connecting rails as edges must be a tree. So this is the connectivity of the one required one, and this is the rail connectivity what we can make so that this tree will be constructed and it is going to be the connectivity or the rather we can say it is a very real life application of this one. Another one is enumeration of chemical molecules. We know that one of the earliest Uses of trees. What was enumeration of chemical molecules? If we have a molecule consisting one of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms, 4 1, then we can represent it as a graph in which the carbon atom appears as a vertex of degree 4 and hydrogen atom appears as a vertex of degree 1. So let us have some pictorial representation, and this one is the thing. And look at this, if you consider these are as vertices, and then you will get a tree concept of these particular molecules. Okay, so now you can just try to think about solving this one, and obviously if you have some problem you can communicate. We have to solve the Kirchhoff's equation for the following network in which the numbers are actually the resistance. So these are the references I have used. Thank you for listening. Thank you for learning.